You know that strange moment when you meet someone for the first time and within 3 seconds you already have a feeling about who they are? You can't explain it. You can't break it down into steps. But something about the way they speak, the way they look, the way they show up just tells you instantly, I trust this person, or nope, not for me. The funny thing is, your business gives people that same instant feeling. And here's the shocking part. Most businesses have no idea what first impression they're actually creating. They think they're showing up one way, but in the mind of the customer, they're showing up completely differently. And that tiny gap between what you think your brand is and what your customers actually feel about your brand, that gap is the reason so many businesses lose clients without ever knowing why. Hi, this is Farhad, and at 6 Dimensions, we help businesses attract great clients without wasting money on ads, using our 6 Dimension system that makes marketing and growth simple. And if you stay with me until the end, I've got a free gift for you that will help you tighten up your positioning and build a brand that people instantly trust. It's an incredible resource called Building a Powerful Brand, and I'll tell you how to get it at the end. So let's talk about mastering brand positioning, because honestly, most entrepreneurs misunderstand it. They think brand positioning is about a nice logo, a clean website, or a catchy slogan. But real positioning happens in the one place you can't directly control, the mind of your customer. It's the space your brand occupies compared to every other option they could choose. And the problem today is that your customer has more choices than ever. They're not comparing you to the competitor across the street anymore. They're comparing you to every great experience they've ever had, every brand they trust, every company that made their life easier instead of harder. So if your brand doesn't immediately answer the silent question running through every buyer's mind, why you and not someone else, you disappear. Not because you're not good, not because you don't have the skills, but because the customer can't place you. They don't know where you fit. And when people don't know where something fits, they don't choose it. They move on. Here's something I've learned after 20 years in sales, marketing, and human behavior. People make decisions emotionally first and logically second. Brand positioning works the same way. It's not just about saying, we do this. It's about creating an emotional snap-in-place moment where the customer thinks, this is exactly what I've been looking for. That's what great positioning does. It creates clarity, it creates confidence, and it removes friction from the buying decision. I remember working with a business owner who offered 10 different services. She was talented, she was hardworking, but she was drowning because her brand had no identity. It wasn't clear which problem she solved or who she solved it for. And when you try to solve everything for everyone, you become nothing to anyone. After we worked together and refined her positioning to something tight, something emotional, something that spoke directly to her ideal client, everything changed. People started reaching out saying, it feels like you're speaking directly to me. That's the magic of positioning. When you get it right, your audience doesn't feel marketed to. They feel understood. So let's break this down in a simple way. Brand positioning is built on a few core pieces. The first one is your target audience. And I don't mean a broad demographic description like women ages 30 to 50. That's not a target market. That's half the planet. I mean getting clear on the real person you want to serve. What keeps them up at night? What frustrates them? What dreams are they afraid to say out loud? When you understand who they are beneath the surface, your message becomes magnetic. If you skip this step, everything else becomes guesswork. The second piece is differentiation. This is where most brands go bland. They say things like quality service, trusted experts, we care about our customers. None of that separates you. That's just basic business hygiene. Differentiation is about the one thing you do better, deeper, faster, or more thoughtfully than anyone else. Sometimes it's a process. Sometimes it's a belief system. Sometimes it's a unique angle that others overlook. But if your differentiation is not clear in the first 10 seconds someone interacts with your brand, your positioning is weak. The third piece is your value proposition. And again, this isn't about describing what you do. It's about explaining the transformation you create. Customers don't buy your service. They buy the version of themselves they become because of your service. When your value proposition hits that emotional truth, it becomes unforgettable. The fourth piece is consistency, and this is where a lot of businesses fall apart. They may have a great message on their website, but their social media says something else. Their customer experience says something different again. Their emails have a different tone, and the human brain is wired to reject things that feel inconsistent. When your brand voice, visuals, messaging, and delivery don't line up, people don't trust you. They don't know which you is the real one. But when every touch point feels like the same person speaking, that's when trust builds fast. Now here's a psychological tactic few business owners use: authority positioning. When someone believes you're an authority in your field, they stop comparing you to anyone else. They see you as the default choice. Authority doesn't mean being loud or bragging. It's built through thoughtful insights, clear frameworks, social proof, and consistent demonstration of expertise. If people feel they can learn from you, they automatically believe they can trust you. Another tactic is emotional anchoring. This is where your brand becomes associated with a specific feeling in the customer's mind. Maybe your brand stands for clarity. Maybe it stands for confidence. Maybe it stands for relief, hope, ambition, energy, or simplicity. When someone feels that emotion every time they encounter your brand, you no longer compete on price or features. You compete on meaning, and meaning always wins. One more tactic that works extremely well is what I call the lens shift. It's when you show your audience something they've seen 100 times, but from a perspective they've never considered. When you do that, you instantly position yourself as someone who sees deeper than the average competitor. It differentiates you without you ever saying, "I'm different." Now let's talk about something many people ignore. Positioning is not something you set once and forget. Markets shift, people change, new competitors appear, your audience evolves. If you don't revisit your positioning regularly, it gets stale. You don't stay relevant by staying the same. You stay relevant by staying aligned. Feedback helps with this. Conversations with customers help. Watching the numbers helps. Paying attention to what people respond to and what they ignore helps. When you're agile with your positioning, you stay in demand. I want you to imagine for a moment what happens when your brand positioning finally clicks into place. You no longer struggle to explain what you do. You no longer chase clients who don't value your work. You no longer feel like you're fighting for attention. Instead, your message becomes effortless. The right clients show up already convinced. Your offer feels easier to sell because people actually understand the value behind it. And you start standing out in a crowded market, not because you screamed louder, but because you spoke clearer. Let me tell you a quick story about a client who ran a consulting business. He used to describe what he did in a long, confusing way that made people tune out. After we worked on his positioning, he could explain his business in one clean sentence. And every time he said that sentence, people leaned forward and asked for more. He didn't change his service. He changed his positioning, and that changed everything. This is why brand positioning is not optional. It's foundational. It's the difference between being seen as a commodity and being seen as the obvious solution. It's the difference between racing to the bottom on price and commanding premium fees. It's the difference between chasing opportunities and attracting them. And this is exactly why I want you to grab the free resource I mentioned earlier, Building a Powerful Brand, because it goes deeper into how to shape the perception your audience has of you and how to communicate your unique advantage in a way that sticks. This ebook is one of the most useful tools you can have if you want to strengthen your brand and show up with clarity and confidence. You'll find the link to download it for free at the end of this video. As we wrap up, here's what I want you to take away. Great brand positioning is not about being everything. It's about being something clear, specific, meaningful, and emotionally resonant. It's about owning a lane in the customer's mind so completely that the moment they think of the problem you solve, your name is the one that pops up. And when you achieve that, marketing gets easier, sales get easier, growth gets easier. Because people don't choose the best option. They choose the clearest one. And when you master brand positioning, you become that clear choice. Book a call with us if you're serious about taking your business to the next level. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it.